start sharing it out. Go and open our... Hey, everybody. Yep, we're going to wait here.
Don't just do it on your phone. That's easier.
Oh.
Because then we can at least see if people join.
One person's here. So whoever's here, thank you. Please be patient.
I think it's us.
I'm going to... Oh, now we got 2 people. I'm going to share the stream out to everybody.
Yes, it did just start.
Yeah, we're just starting here. Just starting. Oh my God, so much information came. I can't believe it. If everybody that's in here can share the stream to your social media, to any groups, that would be great. Share. Everybody that's in here. Yeah, you're gonna hear an echo. I got it on my phone. YouTube. No, I don't want YouTube. I want Facebook. I'm gonna put this on the Marvelous Investigate page real quick. Okay, oh my gosh. It's amazing, everything that just happened. Okay, Teresa, what I'm doing is I'm impromptu going live. I'm trying to share this stream out real quick on my phone to the Marvelous Investigates page, and just get whoever wants to be in here. Sharing it to Discord here real quick. We're going to talk about the HLN Special and what's happening, what happened on there, what information we got. I don't think that was the right post or link that I just sent. I have to get it again. So did everybody get to watch the HLN special that's in here so far? No, Teresa, it's not on YouTube yet, but I'm going to look at maybe trying to rebroadcast it. I got to check the YouTube guidelines. Somebody said to actually do it on Facebook because they're more generous. So, we'll see tomorrow, along with the tribute video to the girls, so that everybody can see it. But I have like 5 or 6 pages of notes, so I can tell you what's going on. Oh no, Teresa, this information that we got tonight is huge. It is huge. We're
lagging a little bit.
We're lagging a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on one sec. Here we go. I found the reason why we're lagging. Hang on. Okay. Perfect. I'm live right now. Somebody on Facebook was saying that there's no video. So, okay. So let's just say hello to Faye, Teresa, VTPSTTU, Sean, Bruce. So glad you're joining us. Boston, All About Justice, welcome. Angelina, so glad you guys are here. Let's talk about this HLN special. There was 3 huge pieces of information given in this broadcast, and we're going to start with the first one as soon as I find the first page of my notes.
I think it's
right after this. Okay. So the first piece of information that was given was the video of Bridge Guy on the bridge walking towards the girls on the south side was 43 seconds long. So that's huge. We know that it was 43 seconds long due to an affidavit that HLN got, and we're all going to try to get our hands on that affidavit because it's 10 pages long. So the first thing that we learned was it's the video of Bridge Guy walking towards the girls is 43 seconds long. Police would not say if there was additional videos on Libby's phone. So that's huge. And I can repeat all this as more people come in, but no, 43 seconds.
There could be other videos, though, on the phone. We do not know.
Right. So, in saying that, we know that the 4 words, guys, down the hill, was at the very end of the video. That was also in the affidavit. Yeah, Teresa, Ellie should have released all of this a long time ago. A long time ago. So, guys, down the hill is together, and it's at the end of the 43-second video. And it shows BG walking towards the girls and then saying, guys, down the hill. The tone in his voice, according to the panel, it was a take charge type of tone, and it lacked emotion. So he was in control, and they did say that some individuals can control people by just using their voice, but a weapon may have been used also. Second big piece of information from this, and Teresa, this is going to blow your mind. There is a timestamp on the video. The 43-second video has a timestamp. It's 2:13 p.m. I don't know how they got the affidavit. We're going to try to get our hands on it. Yes, Faye, that's my son. He's beside me. He's my co-host. So the second big break in this case is we know that the girls were dropped off about 1:30 p.m. We know that Libby took the picture of Abby on the bridge at about 2:07. That means 6 minutes later, they were at the end of the bridge and Bridge Guy was demanding them down the hill at 2:13. So, I was talking to Shane on the phone and chatting with him when this was aired. We figured it's probably about a 10-minute walk to get down the hills and across the river to the kill zone. That means they would have been there approximately at 2:23 to 2:25 p.m. Teresa, HLN didn't change the timestamp. They got this information out of an affidavit from the police. That's how they know all of this information. So, the timestamp at 2:13 p.m. is very important because it gives us markers of the last time the girls were alive and could give us an idea on how long they were dead before they were found. So that's very important. When that information comes out, that's going to be huge. Yes. Okay. So it's time-stamped at 2:13 p.m. What the panel said is that police need to look at the pings on the phones, on the towers at that time to see if any of their suspects' phones match that. Okay, I have to take a phone call, so Mark is going to talk to you here, kind of go through middle of the day and stuff.
All right. So, middle of the day. In the HLN Special, the panel was saying that BG took major risks with the crime because he committed the crime in the middle of the day, which could have, in the middle of the day where there were other people out and about. So it was directly in mid-daylight where other people could have heard the murder going on. That also ties in with the fact that you can't control who may have seen you do the crime or commit the murder. They also said, the panel said that it would have been very difficult to clean up the scene with the kind of nature sort of area that they were in because of the fact that when they were searching, there were many people in the area that were trying to find the girls' bodies or try to locate the girls. So not only was there footprints or fingerprints, there were also other bodily fluids around the area where other people's DNA could have been found. Let's see. Let's see here. So for Keegan Klein, he was spoke to in December. In December, there was a 25-minute interview. And then in the HLN Special, there was about 20 to 30 seconds played. He gave his DNA and he did a ton of tests. And he said that he had nothing to do with the murders. We do not know if he is telling the truth because you can always tell lies in an interview to try and keep yourself out of trouble. So, in all honesty, we really don't know if he could have actually done the murders or not based off of this interview. We would need more evidence and probably some more tests. Also in the middle of the day, the criminal took risks because of the fact that you could tell if he was not at work or if he called something off. So if he wanted to commit the crime, then they could have possibly, or if he did work somewhere, they could have known that it was him because of the fact that that the person called off work or didn't show up to an event that they were supposed to go to, or even if it was a family, take care of the kids and at a time that they needed to. This person would want to talk about children inappropriately, and probably that is why he tried to commit the crime, is because he wanted to go into inappropriate things with the girls at the time. Going back to Keegan Klein, he said that he was lonely and he wanted to talk to people, but he did say that he never wanted to meet the person or tried to meet the person, which may or may not be true, because it could have been a lie from his standpoint. They did search his house when the case kind of like originally went out, and they took his electronics.
Okay, hang on a minute. All right, everybody. We got a special guest on the phone. I'm putting it on speaker. And so just a second. All right, go ahead.
What's going on? YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, or wherever the hell you're watching from. I'm Anthony Greeno from True Crime Investigates. What's going on, y'all?
So I've got Anthony Greeno on the phone, and he called me to talk about the HLN Special.
Of course.
All right, Anthony. What is your ideas? What is your reaction on the special?
I am extremely ecstatic about the information that was released this evening. I think that it proves that the investigation that at least I have conducted, and I know other individuals that have conducted an investigation into the Delphi murders, it's proven that a lot of the circumstances have been completely accurate. Some of the things have been wrong, but a lot of the information that we've come up with is entirely accurate. What I've gathered from this is the 43 seconds of the video, the three critical pieces of information that they released tonight. I think that we can go over those. The 43-second video, as we've all speculated, was the video 45 minutes, was the video 6 minutes, was the video 2 seconds. Now we know it's 43 seconds of video. We know when Guys Down the Hill was fed at the end of the video, and we know the timestamp of the video, which was at 2:13 p.m. We also heard from Keegan Klein himself. We didn't hear the full 25-minute interview. I would be interested in hearing that. But Keegan Klein seems confident that he is not going to be charged with the murders. But on True Crime Investigates, back when this information broke, I revealed that Keegan Klein had been in contact with Liberty German through her Instagram account.
Right.
And individuals lit me up on YouTube and said, there's no proof to that, or that I was lying. But law enforcement released that information this evening, and from Keegan Klein's own mouth, he said, quote, they said I was the last person to talk to her, unquote.
Yes, and they
that
also, and
right
he also gave us a little bit more information, Anthony. He said not only did they take DNA, they took hair samples from him.
They took his hair samples, and from what I've seen, when they come and ask everybody around here for DNA, they asked for a mouth swab.
Right.
They never asked for hair.
They never asked for hair. So, does that mean some of the DNA that they have is a hair sample, but it does not have the root with the actual DNA? So they got to go about the mitochondrial DNA method.
I think that, I can understand why law enforcement says that this case is very complicated.
Yep.
Because we have to take into account that how many individuals were the girls actually in contact with? We know that one of the girls was wearing Kelsey's sweater. Well, right. How many individuals was Kelsey in contact with?
Right.
So the hair could be from any individual that they went to school with, another family member, a friend of a friend that they had never met before. So I think that law enforcement doesn't necessarily know if the hair sample that they have is the suspect's. But what they're doing is they're obtaining hair samples, and they're trying to find out, okay, well, this person said that they weren't there that day, well, then why was their hair there?
Right.
You know?
So one other thing that I got out of this is that if it's a mixed profile, meaning the girl's blood was mixed in with BG's DNA, or it was a partial sample, they cannot get that or any kind of match on a genealogy site, and that's why that avenue has not been pursued.
That avenue has attempted to be pursued.
Right.
Based on my conversation with the individuals at Parabon Nano Labs in 2019, I spoke with those individuals and asked them, because the difference in the two sketches, I said, well, how come you can't use this DNA from the suspect and create a 3D phenotype, which is a 3D image of the suspect based on his own DNA? And the response that I got was, they don't necessarily know if the DNA they have is from the suspect himself. So I think that they would try to go that avenue. That way it would eliminate the conflict in the two sketches. But like you just said, I think that the DNA is compromised in some form where they can't use that sample.
Okay, so Jill just brought up a great point, and that was another thing in my notes. They said an edged weapon was used.
Yes, a knife. I've been saying that the whole time. There was a knife left at the crime scene. There was a knife left at the crime scene. I've been telling people that for months. There was a knife at the crime scene. A knife is the kill weapon. That is where they got the fingerprints, was from the knife, and that is where they get most of their evidence from. They have touch DNA from that knife. They have fingerprints from that knife. The knife is how the girls were killed, and it also shows that it'll tell them, the investigators, what hand the suspect is, if the suspect is right-handed or left-handed. They will know all that.
Yep. I agree. So
now, I did want to comment on the 43 seconds of video. Now, in our study of placing individuals at the spot where the suspect was and walking towards where Abby and Libby were at the end of the bridge, okay, they were off the edge of the bridge standing on the hill. It takes 13 seconds to get from where he was to where they were. Once you get to where they were, that is, you are standing on the hill. That is where he says, guys, down the hill. So, if guys down the hill is said at the end of the video, then that means there was 30 seconds of video recorded before we even see the bridge guy. So all the video footage that we see, everything was recorded before that, and he was just so far away that they don't even need to use that video footage.
Right. Okay, so tell our viewers, you've walked this area so many times, Anthony. How long does it take to get from the top of the hill to the kill site?
Walking extremely fast, you can do it in 2 minutes. Walking relatively slow but at a decent pace, you can do so in about 4 minutes. And that is going extremely slow, which I highly doubt that the suspect is doing. It's only 105 yards away from the edge of the bridge, from the top of down the hill, to the area that the bodies were found. And that is going down one hill, across the private drive, down another hill, through the woods a little bit, and then crossing the creek. It'll only take about 2.5 to 4 minutes.
So we can say confidently that he had the girls at the kill site by 2:20.
Exactly, and that's most likely when they were killed, is around that area.
Yep.
Which matches up with what Cheyenne and Cheryl said, and it matches up with the time frame. He spent about 15 minutes over there. If the big if the flannel shirt guy was correct and said that he passed the suspect at 2:47,
right,
the same time Cheyenne was taking the photo, it matches perfect with the time he got to the kill site at 2:20ish. He spent about 15 minutes over there doing whatever he was doing.
This call will be terminated in 2 minutes.
And then, walked out of there. It's perfect timing.
Yep.
That's the exact time.
You're right. You're right.
So that's all I got for you.
All right. Well, do your sign off, and I'm going to let you go and finish my live. And thank you so much for calling and talking to all of us.
Hey, not a problem. All right. So on that note, everybody, I'm Anthony Greeno here at True Crime Investigates, and keep it Southern style, y'all.
Hang on 1 second. 1 second. I have a question for you. DP, was he part of Garrett Kurtz's group?
Not the suspect. Nope. No, he was not.
He
Not
was
the suspect. He's not a part of it at all. Completely innocent.
okay, but he was not part of Garrett Kurtz's group at all.
Does not know who they are in the least.
Okay. Thank you so much for answering that.
Be terminated in 1 minute.
Okay?
All right. Talk to you later.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Anthony Greeno from Delphi Jail, Carroll County Jail. All right, so we've been talking a lot. Let's go back and look at the comments because I want to know what everybody's been saying. And then we can go on with this, what was talked about in the special and all of that good stuff. So let us scroll up here and get these comments going. If you can, share this out to your Facebook and to your groups. I asked that in the beginning. So go ahead and put that there. Angelina says, hey guys, have not got to watch anything today. So I'll wait to hear the scoop from you. Wonderful, Angelina. We're here telling in addition what the scoop is. Let's see here. Yes, right now they're replaying last year's, the year before, Down the Hill parts 1 and 2, and then they will replay the new information after that. So if you missed it, you can still catch it. If you don't have access to it, I'm going to try to get it and stream it for everybody. Wait, so HLN gave information. So yes, Teresa, in the HLN special tonight, they received a 10-page affidavit. And in that 10-page affidavit, they gave 3 big pieces of information. 1, the video was 43 seconds long. 2, guys, Down the Hill was at the end of the video. And then 3, there was a timestamp of 2:13 p.m. on that video. So now we have a little bit more of a timeline. Positive there's more audio. We don't know if there's more than one video on the phone. Because in the past, law enforcement has made it sound like it was longer than 43 seconds. So there could be additional videos on the phone with more information, but that wasn't in this affidavit. So we are going to try to do a FOIA request. I don't care if I have to pay for it. I'm going to try to get that 10-page document, that affidavit, to get more information.
That would be big.
Yes.
To get the full 10-page document.
Yes. And it should be public information if HLN can get a hold of it, as Shane is saying here. Go up. Oh, down. Okay. Teresa, I've heard so many people using false things Oh my God. But the thing is nobody had this information. This is information that they should have given us out right away. I mean, come on. This is not detrimental to the case. The time that they were at the end of the bridge together, that's not detrimental at all. So why didn't they give this information out right away? Faye says it happened so fast. Yes, it did happen so fast. You have a picture of Abby at 2:07, and she was pretty far away from the edge already. Edge of the end of the bridge. So in 6 minutes, that man walked across that bridge. Because you could not see him behind her in that photo. And that is where he would have been coming from. Go to that one. I believe he was done and finished between 2:30 and 3 o'clock and was out of there by 3 o'clock. I believe you're right. And law enforcement has said that this was over by 3:30. Well, now knowing the information we know, if that video ended at 2:13 and Greeno said on a slower walk it only takes 4 minutes, they were at the kill site well before 2:20. And you know that he wasn't going to linger around with them there at the kill site alive. He had to have killed them pretty quickly. And we know that there's signatures there. I saw at least 4 in a video. A helicopter footage that I put on the big screen TV. We'll talk about that more next week. I may even show, I'm probably even going to show that video and let everybody know. Now we know why 911, they had no time to call. Exactly. It happened so quick. No, it wouldn't take longer because Libby was kicking his during that time. We know she was fighting. Biggest question is why LE covered it up. Yes, why didn't LE, law enforcement, give us this information right away? So go to Bruce's comment here. So we know at 2:13 p.m. they were still alive. Exactly. And we know that they weren't by 3 or 3:15 p.m. because Derek German was there looking for them. And he would have heard them. Okay. He was comfortable with his actions and possibly knew them personally. He may have known them personally, but they didn't know him. Because if they had known him, they wouldn't have called him the creepy guy. They would have named him in the audio. Okay, go ahead. So let's go back up. Mark, but why did police not do that first day? Okay, go back to Boston's. Yep. Probably because they were trying to gather all information at that time. I would agree with that, not releasing it within the first few days because they were trying to figure out the information. But a week, 2 weeks afterwards, a month afterwards, they could have certainly given that information out. I don't understand the phone ping that should be done initially. I don't know either. They had to have been looking at phones, though. Phone pings. The panel said the girls were dropped off at 1:30, and at 2:07, Libby took the photo of Abby. Correct. The phone ping messes with me. Yep. I don't quite... They have to have a phone ping. They have to. It's all I can think of.
Unless the guy didn't use his phone and didn't bring it. Because that's a possibility.
Yeah, I guess. All right, go ahead and... Thank you, Faye. You said your son did great. So glad. He's so talented at this. So, can police ping like the next day? The cell phone towers keeps that information in servers at the cell phone company. So what would have happened is that police would have had to issue a warrant to the cell phone company to get the pinging information and have it sent to them. So all kinds of comments have come in about Anthony. When I talk to him next, I promise I will tell him you all said hi. We just wanted to get his thoughts live on the show. So another thing that was in that interview is Klein said he's not BG. Think he might. A killer's going to say he's not a killer. Mm-hmm. In most cases, they're not going to confess. So we'll see. At Bruce Davis, I believe so. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. Keep going. Keep going. According to an interview with Kelsey, she said they interrogated and questioned, DNA'd the whole works with all of her friends. That is correct. We did hear that on the replay right before this. I remember hearing that because I wrote it down. Use the big edged weapon. Yes. So, go ahead with that one. So happy that HLN brought this more evidence. Exactly. Four minutes is slow. It is slow, but you got to think they're going downhill. And when you go downhill, gravity takes you and you're not really walking. You're half walking, half running. So that's why Anthony said 2 minutes is the fast route. Let's see. What else do we have here? Yes, Greeno did get to watch the HLN special in jail. Keep going. Okay, so if you weren't able to watch the HLN special, Real Chill Graz's Real Chill Recaps, I think it is, had it live. Real Chill Clips, that's what it was. Okay. What is that one? I can't... Is that why it all went so fast? Because Libby was fighting him and he got tired? He gave up? We don't know at which point that Libby fought him. You know, we know that a shoe was found before they crossed the river. But was it because they fought him there? Or did she get it stuck in the mud and he just said, keep moving? I believe that she did fight him at the kill site, but we don't know exactly where the fight started. So did LE manipulate the timeline? No, but they did not give us all the information of the timeline. They held information back, like usual, like always, per Diane, yep, and didn't give that out. And it wasn't until HLN got a hold of this affidavit that we got the right information. I bet my life there's a good picture too. Looks like they blurted up intentionally. You're not the only person that has told me that today. I've heard that multiple times today. Just another F up by LE. Yep. Marvelous. It fall under the Freedom of Information Act. Yep. Otherwise known as FOIA. And I'm putting a request in. This should have been made known sooner. Exactly. I'm sure they believe someone would recognize the video and turn in the guy by March 2017. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they thought somebody was going to turn him in too, but they didn't. And we're 5 years later. Did you hear Tobe very calmly say he made a mistake when he called off the dogs in the search? Yes, I did. And that is huge. I would say they have their reasons for every little thing they do and say. Law enforcement, FBI, and ISP plan it all out. Yes. And in that HLN Special, they did say, one of the panelists did say that that 2-year press conference sounded like an FBI profile. And then they made the press conference and what Doug Carter was going to say based on that profile. So, Shane, does that apply to an open case, though? Yes. You can get FOIA requests on open or closed cases. They don't have to give you all the information. They can redact as much as they want if they feel it's going to hinder the case, but they didn't redact a whole lot from what I saw. And there was other things that caught our eye in that affidavit. And Shane, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a Ford pickup truck and something about a 2-story house. Scumbag BG, your days are numbered. TikTok. Yep. And it took 5 years to release this. They could have done this 5 years ago. A little too late. You betcha. So, BG made it across the bridge faster than Abby and Libby. Yes. Yes. Well, we don't know how long it took Abby and Libby to get across the bridge because we don't know when they started across the bridge. And you got to remember, reports are that Abby had never crossed the bridge. Libby had. So if that was truly her first time, she was going to be going slow. But we know that BG took 6 minutes. Marvelous. Plus, Libby's dad was there to pick them up by 3:15. Exactly. It had to be quick. He couldn't stay longer. He was exhausted. Libby was fighting him. Yep. To hide their failings. Law enforcement have their reasons for everything. I'm still stuck on KK's father or a random catfish. What if Keegan Klein is right and he didn't contact the girls? What if part of his pedophile ring was using a fake profile to catfish Keegan Klein and get information from him? There's a thought for you. And that person is BG, but since it's a fake profile, police have to go through and find out who it really was. I don't think he wanted this to be quick at all. Libby ruined his sick, twisted plans. Libby was handling him. Mike Patty said Libby's phone was pinging all over town, though. Angelina, you gotta remember this. In most towns are long. There's miles. It's not that way in Delphi. They maybe have 2 towers that aren't that far away from each other. So you can be on one side of the bridge and ping on one tower and go to the kill site and ping between both towers. So that's the tough part about that. The guy might have been using a burner phone. Yes. Even if they got a ping, the ping may not have led them to any worthwhile information. Exactly. Yep, there's no reason to look for pings immediately. Hello, worldwide crime. MK, we're kind of going through and might repeat the big things here. Did you get to see the HLN special?
It said that they missed the whole.
Oh, you missed the whole show. Okay. Give me a few minutes to catch up on comments, and then I will catch you up on the show. Mark, you did a great job. Make sure you show your teachers at school. That's all right. He's used to swearing. His mother swears.
So does my sister.
And so does his sister. If Klein were the killer, I don't think his lawyer would have let him talk to CNN for 25 minutes. Yes. And why? Hang on a minute. Hello? What's up? I'm still live. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Can you turn down the volume on your computer a little bit? Okay, hang on. I'm going to put you... So everybody, I've got Shane, who's in chat on the phone. We're going to talk live through the phone again until I figure out how to send a link to invite people in, which I will make sure I do tomorrow.
Found it.
Well, that's all right. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, Shane.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? Me and Marvelous been working at this case for the last few days, getting in each other's heads and trying to figure out what's going on here. And me and her have come up with a few scenarios, and we have agreed on a lot of things also.
Yep.
The thing is when everybody's talking about the pinging and all that stuff, there's a process to how police do everything, okay? They're not going to immediately ping for a suspect's phone because they don't even know if you had a phone or what the circumstances might be, okay? You have to remember that. And also when it comes to the affidavit, me and her have had discussions about this before. Yes, it falls under the Freedom of Information Act. And also, what else was I going to say? Oh, about what I saw in the affidavit when I watched the HLN special.
Yes.
I'm a researcher, and I speed read. And I caught a paragraph where they talk about an F-150 white truck and a 2-story house. So they're on to something or somebody. There's no doubt about it. They know who it is, okay? Like we've talked about. They just got to get the evidence that they know will get a sure conviction.
Right.
That's all it's about.
They're not going to take any chances with this case. If the prosecutor does not feel that he's got a 100% slam dunk case, he will not issue the arrest warrant until that happens, because this is too important to everybody, especially those families. He's going to wait.
And another thing everybody keeps bringing up about Shane Evans. Let me tell you something. If they got a fingerprint of any sort, all elected officials have to give their fingerprints in order to work for the government. So I can guarantee you he's already been excluded.
Okay. That's good to know.
So if anybody's got any questions, you can ask her and she can ask me. Because me and her have been digging in this for a while, so we're pretty well known when it comes to this case. We went to every avenue.
We have.
You know, and we still feel that it's somebody there in Delphi.
Yes.
It has to be somebody in Delphi, like we've discussed before. This person knows those trails like the crack in his butt. Excuse me.
Yep.
You know, he knows it. And like I said before, he might have known Libby and Abby personally, but like you said, Marvelous, they might have not have known him.
Yep.
Okay. And when it comes to the video, you're correct. They probably blurred it out a little bit so we could identify him immediately. What I figured they did is they did that to, if they showed a complete face to him, that would have indicated they knew who he was and he was going to go on the run.
Right.
Period.
Right. He would have disappeared.
Exactly. So he's watching everything, and if he thinks they're getting close, he's going to run. That's why they're not releasing any information. Period. But me and her are going to dig into some more information because we got some leads on some other people.
Yep.
We want to look into, but we're not going to slander these people on her podcast, and I'd rather not do that because
I agree.
if people are watching her podcast, she can get seriously harassed.
Yep.
If you ever watched Anthony Greeno's podcast, DP got into it with him live, and he's been harassed ever since over that.
Yep.
So you guys just take one stride at a time, and if you want to do what me and Marvelous are doing, you got to research. Just don't go by what you see on these podcasts or the TV. Research individuals that you know are capable of doing this.
Yeah.
Me and Marvelous have got a couple people on our mind because of some other things that went on with them in their prior life, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay? So, people, please don't put garbage out there online because all you're doing is upsetting the family. We are here to help the family. That is our job. Okay? So don't be putting this out there unless you've got some type of evidence that could be toward that. Okay? I'm just saying, people, this is a delicate situation and we need to help the family.
Right. I agree.
Okay?
So
it's nice talking to you, Marvelous. I know you want to get back to talking to everybody online.
Oh no, I'm so glad you called me and asked to join in over the phone. That's a great way of doing it till I can figure this all out. I think Mark just did. So
Hey, Marky, doing a good job, buddy.
Thanks.
He's my tech guy. He knows how to do this stuff. So
hey, all these kids these days know all about that tech.
Oh yeah.
IT work.
Yep.
They didn't have that when we was kids.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I was in my 30s when they came out with Facebook, so I'm giving my age away now. So
That's all right.
All right, I'm gonna chat back in.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, hon.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So everybody, that was Shane from chat. as I said, I watch all kinds of creators. And I saw a interview he did with Bad Habits Kingdom. And I told him I wanted this video that he had, and he sent it to me. And ever since then, we've been talking about 5 or 6 times a day on the phone and texting each other and emailing. And so, like he says, we're looking into all kinds of stuff. So, all right, let's go back here.
Go back all like high. So we have a lot of stuff.
Oh, I see where he says, "Can I call you?" I'm so glad that he could just called. Okay, I think we were somewhere in here. I agree to you. None of this information is a big surprise, and it would not have done anything to hinder the case or hinder a prosecution. So why? Why didn't they give it out? Go ahead to the next one. The affidavit also showed and said something about F-150 white truck. Yep, we just heard Shane say that. I feel like KK turned BG in when they questioned him in the beginning, and then poof, BG was nowhere to be found because BG had basically catfished KK and was the smarter one of the two. Or is it TK? Oh, good question, Worldwide Crime. You're on to the same thinking that I was. And something tonight tells me that BG is on YouTube. He's watching all of these creators talk about Delphi. I wouldn't be surprised if he has his own YouTube channel and just posts about random general stuff, and just watches and listens to everything we say. So I'm wondering if we shouldn't actually, each of the creators shouldn't go through their groups and their members, their subscribers, and look at try to see if they can find their Facebook profiles and see which ones might be fake pages. Is that possible to do? I don't know. I'm so new at YouTube. I'll have to see if that's possible.
You can see who some of your YouTube subscribers are based off of what we saw the other night, but some people have permissions that make it so you can't see who they are, which makes it even harder.
Mm-hmm.
So
they were about a third of the way across at 207. Yes. Cheryl says, took pictures of him at 216 and 315. No one saw him leave, and he knew the area. Yep. Was the 2-story house mentioned in the affidavit near the bridge, I wonder? I don't know. That's why we want to get our hands on that affidavit. We want more. We want to see more of that information. I don't think Liberty's dad or rival would mean that much. He wouldn't have been able to hear them. We have screamed at that bridge, and it echoes. If those girls would have screamed, they would have heard it.
Well, that also brings up, you would have thought if there were other people on the trail at the time, they would have heard something. Mm-hmm. But based off of what we know, there were witnesses on the trail. So you would have thought that they would have at least heard something. Yes. And started questioning it.
And if now you were there, if the girls would have screamed, somebody on those trails would have heard it.
Exactly.
Okay, you believe that. Good. I'm glad. Okay. Jill, my cousin Brad Weber, private drive, got home at 3 p.m. from work. So he drove up the private drive at 3 p.m.? Is that right, Jill? I'm really not happy with the police. This is so wrong. 5 years, get new information. Yep. I think they have to do anything at any time to try to solve it. Don't think BG had any phone, but it's just my opinion. And that's good. And that could very well be. Boston, well, maybe you should not said that, but that's just thoughts. Everybody's got their opinion. So 213 from just the facts. So 213 is when BG says down the hill. Yes. Or is that when or is that when he is videoed by Liberty?
They're in the same video.
It's the same video. So at 213, Liberty took a video that lasted 43 seconds. And at the end of the video is when BG said, guys, down the hill. Does that clear it up, just facts? He felt that police and DA would know how BG is. Possibly. I think it was someone from the south end of the bridge, or they came and went from south end of bridge. How else would nobody see him? We've tossed that idea around. The only issue is it's so overgrown there. And I don't know if you can really hide in there without making a bunch of noise coming back out of that overgrowth where the girls would have heard it, and they would have been startled and videoed it sooner.
Or called the cops.
Or something. It's a possibility. I'm not ruling out, but I do think that he walked across the bridge. At Marvelous, Shane is an investigator, speed reader for himself, or who? For himself. Bruce Davis, I agree with you. Think they know, but couldn't prove it. If the video clearly shows who he is, they could have just arrested him. Not if they didn't have the evidence tying him. If they were missing something. I'm not saying that the video they have is absolutely clear, but I think it's clearer than what we're seeing. And they're trying not to give it away in order to be able to connect them. I could be totally wrong on that. And that's what they got. And that's who they're trying to figure it out. DP is Daniel Pearson. Just the facts. If the guy came and went from the south end of the bridge, do you think that the car at the old building was just a ruse? Yes, that could have actually been possible. Because if you listen to Anthony on the phone, now he says, if what Dan McCain says is true, and flannel shirt guy, Dan McCain, saw a bridge guy, that means the 250 time period of bridge guy walking out would have been true. Would have made sense with the new timeline. But even Greeno is second guessing, it sounds like, if that is accurate information, or if Dan McCain was just trying to put himself in the investigation to be a credible witness. I don't know. Marvelous. I don't know. BG was not at the end of the bridge. I think he was down in that hole that Greeno was in. You can't walk that fast over that bridge. Yes, you can. Greeno walked that bridge in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. So you can walk that bridge that fast. I think if he was hiding in the hole on the bridge, the girls would have seen him. Yes, they would have. Because I'm telling you, the gap in that bridge, you have to be looking down to know exactly where you're placing your feet to get over that gap. And they would have seen him down there. AK doesn't have... AK. Anthony Klein doesn't have a YouTube channel. Okay. Echoes depend on the winds, right? It's pretty...
I'm gonna look that up.
I don't know. We'll have to look at that. That's why it's so weird. Yep. Greeno did a scream test. You would be able to hear for sure. If you're in a ravine and scream, yes, it would echo. Good point, Mark. Kelsey said other people were there, so if the girls would have screamed, someone would have heard it. Exactly. I thought AG's screen test showed that someone wouldn't have heard it. No, it was the opposite. They would have heard it. Okay, so yes, that's right, Marvelous. So your cousin drove up. Oh my God, this is huge. Your cousin drove up the private drive at 3 p.m. and didn't see anything. Okay. Oh my God, Jill, that's important. Yes. You're welcome, just the facts. Didn't Greeno do a video with girls screaming in different locations and you could not hear them? I'm trying to access my memory bank on all of the videos. Everything that I remember says that you can hear the screams. And by personally being there and having people scream back and forth across the bridge, you can hear screams. Because it echoes. You heard it to the right of you, you heard it to the left of you, and you heard it from straight ahead. With the information that I have gathered, there was an extra 10 minutes of audio.
It's possible if there were more videos on the phone.
That's true. And law enforcement is not saying they have additional videos. But here's my point. If this video is 43 seconds, and we know that the first 30 seconds of it was him walking towards the girls, and then what we seen, and then him getting to the girls and saying, guys down the hill. Where's the video of them saying, is the creepy guy still behind me? That the family heard. And Libby saying, mm-hmm. And them hearing, we have no other place to go. Where is that audio? There's got to be another video. There has to be. Marvin, Mark, so great streamer. So happy that I subbed. Oh, so glad you subbed too, Bruce. We're so happy to have you guys here. What is Daniel Pearson's connection? early on, Daniel Pearson made a false admission that he killed someone and that the person that he killed had a hit put out on Abby and Libby. And then when the police finally talked to him, he said that he was on drugs and none of that was true. And later on got put into a mental hospital. Police have to be perfect before the arrest. Yes, in this case, they do. At Cheryl, no, I don't think the girls would have seen him. They were trying to get Abby across. Probably talking, laughing, having fun, not paying attention. Could be. DP is not BG guy. He has mental problems, drugs, user, and police said he likes to lie for the attention. Okay, that's good to know. No one can walk that bridge like Reno. You got that right. Except for maybe Bridge Guy. Right, but Reno is not BG. Ooh, you've got a question mark. Why do you think it took this long for new information?
Well, I feel like the police is trying to make it so they get all the information so Bridge Guy does not get scared and run off. If he runs off, we will not catch him, even if we know exactly who it is. Because he could run off to another country.
And then we wouldn't be able to extradite him.
Mm-hmm. It would be so hard to locate where he went and locate where he is and who he's staying with.
Good point. Good answer. Boston, Greeno did do it on live. 6 minutes, I remember. Greeno's video that I watched, you could hear screams. I also heard a part of the video of Libby town the perpetrator not to. So part of the video and audio is Libby telling the perpetrator no or not to take them. That could be. Bruce Davis, I know Greeno can walk it. Yep. Believe the police need play all of recording and audio. I agree. I hope that when you get the full affidavit that you'll see evidence of the other videos on her phone. Yes.
With 10 pages on there, and in the actual or HLN Special, you could not see what was directly on every single one of those pages. So it is possible that there was information about more things that were on that phone that they've never released before.
Yes, I agree. I heard an additional part of the video where Libby's telling the perpetrator, do not touch me, creep.
That could have also been the part where Libby started to fight.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want the perpetrator to fight or to touch her.
Bruce says, thank you, Mark. Good answer. Angelina, Marvelous and Mark, putting you on the big screen so I can watch and listen. I'm on the East Coast time and I got to take my readers off. That's fine. I watched plenty of YouTube videos on the big TV. I'm a lurker in most of them. And don't talk much, so.
And that's so. Oh, wait.
Okay. How did Shane hear more of the video? And then Jill, I heard that also. Okay, so So much information has come out today. My head is blown. My heart is heavy. I'm angry at law enforcement for not releasing this sooner. Oh, Lynn, you're good. We've been pretty chill here. So once again, to recap. Oh, we got to get to the Keegan Klein part.
Some of that.
Okay. So in the HLN interview, they said that the interview with Keegan Klein was 25 minutes. However, we got to hear 30 seconds of that. Where's the other 25 minutes? Or, the other 24 and a half minutes. Keegan said he felt harassed. He gave DNA and hair. Hair's big. Because normally when they ask for DNA, it's a swab. It's not hair. So they're looking for hair, and they're getting hair samples for a reason. Keegan Klein said he did not have anything to do with the murders and did not remember talking to Libby through the Anthony Schatz profile. When asked why he created the profile, he said he was lonely and he wanted to talk to people and that he never tried to meet anyone. Yet after the murders, law enforcement went to his father's house 11 days later and searched with a warrant and took electronics. So why? Why did they take electronics and why did they search his house right away? Because he even admitted that law enforcement said that Anthony Schatz profile was the last person to talk to Libby. No, I don't think we can believe what Keegan Klein is saying right now. I believe they only played 30 seconds of KK due to the fact the other 25 and a half minutes had information they did not want to release. And the attorney probably put a kibosh and said, you can only use this. And of course, that is the part of him stating he had nothing to do with the murders and doesn't even remember talking to Libby's profile from Anthony Schatz. Could BG have been telling some other guys with him to go down the hill? Was BG alone? We don't know. We know that BG was on that bridge. We know the girls were on the bridge, but we do not know if anybody else was there. But I'm not ruling that out. No way he didn't talk to girls. He's a pedophile. You got that right. So, the other part that they talked about with the panel, I found very, very interesting. They talked about the two sketches. The second sketch was released April 22nd. Why did it take so long for the second sketch to come out? This is where they said it sounded like a profiler report. So some kind of profile report was done, and that's how they got the second sketch. But the panel said that law enforcement needs to come out and clarify the differences between the two sketches and why the second sketch is primary and the second sketch is secondary. They all agreed to that law enforcement needs to clarify how those sketches were made. Was it with witnesses, through technology, how they were made, and why such a big difference? They also said that sketches are very confusing and that they are as confused as we are. Then they went to talk about the crime scene and the contamination. Kim Riley said that there was 400 to 500 people out searching for the girls. I don't know if Klein was at the bridge that day. So once again, Kim Riley stated there's 400 to 500 people searching for those girls. So you got to remember that many people out there searching. You have tracks, you have spit, you have cigarette butts, you had urine because people were just going into the woods to urinate. Maybe even fecal matter. If you had to go, you had to go, and you just went in the woods and did it. That complicates the scene. But the panel brought up an excellent point. They said that law enforcement should have taken all of that into consideration before they let all those people out there to search, because it can get rid of evidence or taint the crime scene and contaminate the crime scene. There's all these extra footprints. So if not all those people had been out there, there may have been a footprint trail that they could have followed and known exactly what path they took. You got to remember, this is still winter. It was warm, the snow had melted, but it was muddy. So there would have been footprints out there. But because you had 400 to 500 people walking through the area, all of that was messed up and contaminated, and nothing can be truly said, nothing can be concrete as evidence because it was contaminated. And they said too that as far as at the kill site, the DNA, if it was that, now law enforcement has said this has been a violent scene. We know a knife was used. So that means there's going to be blood. If the girl's blood had soaked into their clothes or was anywhere that BG touched, it would have been what's considered a cross-contamination. And we would have lost info. Because if the girl's blood was more dominant than BG's DNA, you're not going to get a very good profile of his DNA. So another thing that and I'm looking at my notes, so I'm sorry everybody, but one of the panelists said so much time and moments were wasted and bungled right from the beginning due to inexperience of the local police force. They had 35,000 tips. They should have released more video and more information. So, and then another thing that stood out to me is we all said, why aren't they using the genealogy sites? They said if it's a mixed sample of the girl's blood and BG's blood, or the sample from BG is small amount, they would not have been able to find a match on the genealogy sites. So when the panel was asked what types of new tactics can be used, the one guy mentioned phenotype profiling. I'm going to have to look that up and find out exactly what that is. This is where he said it was violent and there was an edged weapon. He also said that Bridge Guy came prepared to do great harm, and that most people that come there to do great harm are sexual predators. The guy also said that people knew these girls were out of school and that this perpetrator, BG, was lying in wait. Meaning he had been there for a while waiting for these girls to get there. I have a bot in the chat.
I think it's this person.
Oh, let's get rid of him.
I can do that on my phone, I guess.
Who is this?
It's a bot.
How did it get here? And what does VOM red mean? I'm going to take a picture of that. I need to find out what that is. Were you able to get rid of it?
So bots, they just randomly come in. I think Lindsay said that they're YouTube generated, and then they also said that they got it. All right, so we saw that.
Okay, you want to take over there?
All right. That's where we left off.
So read him and comment or whatever while I can take a drink.
Klein is a pedo. He charged with 30 counts of pedo crap. That, yeah.
He's going away for a long time.
Yeah. Even if he did the murders or not, he's going away for a long time.
And probably for life for that.
Law enforcement really knows who he is. If law enforcement really knows who he is, then they don't need to clarify anything. The only need to clarify if they need help from the public. So I'm assuming that they would just need help locating him if they knew who he was. But that also would really help if we got more information so we could help clarify where he is.
Right.
Because if they know who it is, they still don't know where he is. So,
well, they may have a good idea.
Yeah, they may have an idea, but he could have gone anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody help law enforcement. If you know something, say something. Exactly. Even if it is such a small detail, tip it in. So the DNA was contaminated. It could have been. Hope Marvin can get documents. I will share as soon as I can get them. It's going to take some time, though. Those things don't come quick, unfortunately.
Have you gotten the ones that you tried for last time?
No.
And it's been like a month or two.
Yeah. I wish I knew I'd turn him into law enforcement in a heartbeat. Yep. There's never going to be a time when they stop a search for potentially living victims over concerns about evidence until they know lost children are dead. Rescue is first priority. Yeah, I agree. But I also disagree with their thought process that they thought the girls just ran off with friends and didn't take this seriously in the beginning. Cheryl, so what do the police do now? Keep looking and never stop. You got that right. If they got DNA and hair samples from KK, that's telling me they had plenty of DNA to work with. True. And especially since we heard that they got DNA, and I don't know if Kelsey said they got hair samples. I know she said they got DNA samples from her friends. More evidence needed to come out. Police want to solve it. Yeah, they do. It'll be the killer using that address. Yeah. I think Ellie knows way more than they are telling or sharing. Oh, I would absolutely agree with you. They are holding so much stuff. It's not even funny. When this all comes out and we get the answers, that's what's going to shock us. I think that this was so brutal and violent that our brains aren't letting us go to that place. So when all of this information comes out, we're going to be shocked. It's life sentence for Klein. Yes, absolutely. Life sentence with no parole. It better be. Remember, they said they had unusual forensic evidence. They took KK's dog. I wonder if they had dog hair at the crime scene. That is another possibility. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are we all caught up?
Yep.
All right. Well, everybody, we've been on here for an hour and a half, again, dissecting the HLN. I'm sure there's a lot of creators that are out here doing lives and everything. So check out everybody's streams. Get everybody, educate yourself. Don't just listen to one creator. Listen to them all. All of us have a way of presenting information. The chat is the most important part. And that's why in my streams, I go back to the chat and read your comments, because there's a lot of information. Like Jill, we found out that her cousin drove through there at 3:00. That's her family. Her family told her, I drove through there at 3:00. There's other pertinent information that you can get from just watching the chat and learning and getting information. So Gray Hughes, I can only watch so long, but I do watch him. I make myself listen to everybody's perspective. It's a way to keep your mind open and not box yourself into a certain idea or a certain suspect or something like that. So, yeah, Lynn says, please, if you're not a part of our Facebook group, please join the page. I'm going to be putting a lot of information out there. People are sending me information. They're making us glossaries and stuff of all these initials. That's all going to go out there. So that is where you're going to, besides the live streams, that's where you're going to get a lot of your information. So, Mark, for tonight, my mind is blown. My emotions are high. I'm going to go have a cigarette. And I want to wish everyone a good night. And just remember that tomorrow afternoon, our Libby and Abby memorial video is going to be coming out for the 5th anniversary of us losing them. And I just want to say to Abby and Libby, my angels, our angels, we are here. We support your families. And we love you, and we are fighting right along with law enforcement and your families for justice. And one day, it'll be the day. And we are all going to rejoice and celebrate and cry. With that, We're signing off for the night. Have a good night.
Bye.